pepper on the pineapple. We couldn't be friends anymore. Pineapple thousands, go on pizza. It's a fruit and you know that. Pineapple thousands, go on pizza. They just don't belong.
Manchester United nil. Steve Bruce has got his first win as Newcastle manager at St James's Park in front of the 51,198 fans. Watch Matty Longstaff score in his Premier League debut to give Newcastle all 3 points. I'm here with Rob Spiel, I'm here with Lee Lawler. If you want to get in touch with the show, you can email us on contactnftvstudio@gmail.com. And if you're watching on all of our streams on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, get involved, get your comments in, because Newcastle have just beaten Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United. And Lee, we'll go in depth about the game, but just a very, very initial reaction. Newcastle have managed to get their first home win, and they badly needed it.
Everything. Relief, passion, tense, joy. Credit to Steve Bruce. We'll have to give him praise tonight. You've got to. It's not every day that you beat Manchester United. I know they're in their troubles at the moment, but it feels good. And we don't get many moments in this season. We'll probably get 4 or 5 during the whole of the season. And this is probably one of them, similar to Tottenham, that we just got to cherish. And, oh, man. Get your live chatting, get commenting, email the show. We want to get all the interaction, man. Brilliant.
Definitely. I've just put a few comments there. Adam Taylor, get in, Matty. Smash Pumpkin, Saint-Maximin was quality. Finally someone to carry the ball forward and cause problems. He was right with that one. Craig Cullen, yes, there's only one United. How are the lads? Peter, so needed that. Oh, we did need that, Rob. But what a strike by Matty Longstaff. We'll go into more detail about Matty's performance in the next hour. But what a strike.
Nearly scored in the first half as well. That was amazing. He nearly beat David De Gea in that first half, hit the crossbar, and everyone in the shark bar just that little bit gutted, weren't we? When he missed that chance. But then second half, the whole place absolutely rocked, and I'm sure St James's Park was even more alive. He's one of our own. He's one of our own. He's not Sean, he's Matty. And we have another Longstaff on our books. It's an absolute dream for us.
Yeah. Jimmy Knox, Matty Longstaff, he is one of your own, like, not Kyle. I keep getting Kyle.
Kyle's going to come in later on.
He is. Kyle and Paul are going to be coming in later on.
Does Kyle do these excellent jokes that I
do? Yassin Parlasco, Man United have finished one Monkey Army. Is Almiron good? Now we'll touch on Almiron's performance later on the show. Johnny Shields.
Is your voice going?
Yeah, it's his voice. Look at him.
My voice is apologies if you're listening, but me and Lee were inside the ground and it was brilliant when that goal went in. But I'll just quickly go through the Premier League results. Earlier on this afternoon, there's been 3 other games alongside Newcastle 1, Manchester United 0. It was Southampton 1, Chelsea 4. Goals from Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount. Danny Ings pulled one back for Southampton. And then goals from N'Golo Kante and Michy Batshuayi gives Chelsea a thoroughly deserved win, and Frank Lampard's side are on the right track. Are they on the wheel? We'll talk about a wheel later on.
Good result for Newcastle, that.
It is. Arsenal 1, Bournemouth 0. David Luiz heads Arsenal into another 3 points. A badly needed result for Unai Emery to keep that momentum going in the Premier League. But the biggest result of the day, it has to be said, I know Newcastle have won today, but Manchester City 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. What a result for Nuno Espirito Santo. 2 goals in the last 10 minutes by Adama Traore has given Wolves all 3 points, and Liverpool 8 points ahead of Manchester City after 8 games following their 2-1. We might touch on about that at the final bits of the show if we haven't decided to talk about Newcastle anymore. But let's just talk about Newcastle. Lee, let's start with the starting 11. Matty and Sean Longstaff starting in the centre midfield. Matty Longstaff replacing Isaac Hayden, who was suspended, of course, following that red card against Leicester. Surprised?
No, I wanted him to. Remember the preview that we done on YouTube? I wanted Matty to come in for the energy. I was surprised he was picked, but I was happy. But I was actually looking overall. I looked at that lineup and thought, I'm pretty pleased. I was a bit surprised Kieran Clark, man. That was a bit left field, just coming out of nowhere for Paul Dummett. I did want to say Andy Carroll because I thought Joe Linton struggled a little bit today, but overall I was pretty happy with that lineup. And the thing is, Johnny, it was more promising. We had more threats in maximum, and I've said it, and I sound like a broken record. I kept saying, you've got to play this lad, you have to start him. And he was a massive threat. He tired out second half, but he was a real outlet, and I was very happy.
Gordon Thomas Burke on Facebook. It was a great win and a great performance by the brothers especially, and it's the first time I've actually been truly happy this season. The deeper problems still exist, and Ashley has ruined my support and excitement for the season. But either way, it's a great win for lads. I think, yes, there's a lot of unrest, Rob, between Mike Ashley again, but let's not talk about that for the time being. Let's talk about the fact that two local lads, and I'm going to say I need 29 because I will, because I'm the only representative.
Who, by the way, follow us. You might have that a few times as well.
Matty Longstaff and Sean Longstaff both follow Newcastle Fans TV.
He follows the show. Longstaff brothers, they follow the show. You can tell we're happy they need.
Matty Longstaff should teach Almiron how to score a goal in the bio if I pronounce that wrong. Yeah. But, let's say Kyle again. Rob.
I can put a Kyle impression on.
You could do.
Well, you know, Johnny, you know.
But Rob, in the first half in particular, I think Newcastle just went for it a little bit. Yes, Man United had possession, which was always expected, but Newcastle just kind of went for it. Almiron had a chance in the first half where he was played through by Sean Longstaff. Alan Saint-Maximin was always a threat, and we were going on the front foot a little bit.
Yeah, well, you take the first half, that is not Manchester United at their best, so it wouldn't surprise me if at half-time Bruce was saying something along the lines of, these are there for the taking, it doesn't matter if you're 19th in the table and on an abysmal run. These are beatable, as they've shown this season, Manchester United. So yeah, there was no such thing as sitting back, I don't think. And it was just as Saint-Maximin was coming away with the ball, right, this is for the goal in the second half. Just as Saint-Maximin was sort of leading that counter-attacking charge, Willems was ahead of him. I was literally saying the words to myself aloud, I will not take a draw, I'm not taking a draw, I'm not taking a draw. Plays it to Willems. Willems could have taken the shot, but then beautiful layoff to Longstaff. First time shot. There we go.
Let's talk about Miguel Almiron though, Lee, because he does have that big chance. Yes, he didn't score. Yes, he didn't get an assist today. But did we see improvements by Miguel Almiron today? I'm talking maybe going forward, there was more improvements. He seemed a little bit more like the old Miguel Almiron of last season, I thought, today.
It's funny when he play the big sides, some players up the game. Look, he's being played out of position. He doesn't play on the right. When I seen that, I'll go back to the lineup. I actually wanted Saint-Maximin on the other side to test Ashley Young. But overall, he battles hard. We say this every week. He just needs some assist or a goal. But yes, to your question, he performed a lot better. The one thing where he was played through and he was like different, he had 2 or 3 touches and he was a little bit off his line, hit it early or chip him, and then the slide challenge come in as well. It's where do you fit him into the system? I know it's great that we won today, but he is a small problem. But look, it's a small problem and a fantastic day.
It is a fantastic day. Remember, you can get your questions in. You can email us on contactnftv, Newcastle Fans TV, contactnftvstudio@gmail.com. Get your questions in. We'll get the best questions out in the next hour about Newcastle's victory 1-0 over Manchester United. Just before half-time, Matty Longstaff has a fantastic shot. And people are putting in the comments, is this the future midfield, the two Longstaff brothers? I'd love to see it for the next 10 years. 2 local lads, 2 brothers. I think their parents will be so proud today that they managed to put in a hell of a performance for Newcastle. But Rob, it hits the crossbar. A very unlucky shot, but it was testing David De Gea. It was saying, you know what, if I get a chance, I'm going to go for it.
Statement of intent for sure. Look, we could go on all day. We really could about how brilliant the Longstaff brothers were. But I think team effort as well. You know, I've seen a few comments already about Saint-Maximin. This is what he can do. You know, he's missed the recent games with injury. It's a shame that he does struggle to keep fit, but when he is fit, goodness me, he is just that extra injection of excitement, of adrenaline that he provides on the pitch. It's sort of similar to what Almiron brought this season, but with Almiron sort of playing in a variety of roles now this season. Saint-Maximin has sort of taken that role as playmaker, and you know he's taken it on. And credit to him. It's not only We aren't getting the results still despite today, but at least we're getting some
So
excitement.
I think you've got to
that we
enjoy
have
it today,
lacked.
Rob. Just enjoy today now.
Definitely. Doesn't matter, because I mean, it doesn't remove the bad stuff that's still going on. Of course, the threat of relegation is still a very real one, despite being out of there now. But let's enjoy today. It's not every season that you beat Manchester United.
It isn't, but Matty Longstaff has been talking to the media. He has said that I think getting to play with Sean was unbelievable. We used to kick each other in the garden growing up, being on the same team for our hometown club, and to win against Manchester United, who are a good side, is a bit surreal. I found out I was in the team after training yesterday. Your belly starts to turn a bit, you get a bit nervous, and you don't get much sleep. I dreamt about it last night. This is kind of how I want it to go. Steve Bruce has also been talking to the media. They, as in the Longstaffs, are a very proud family. For one of your sons to be playing, let alone two, and 19 at 21 years old, it's something else. When it fell to Matty, I thought I've seen him drill them in training, but to do it on the big stage at the Gallagher end, he's been a breath of fresh air. He just wants to play football. I thought, who's this ginger kid when we were in China? He's been good in training. It didn't faze him. He enjoyed it. He probably didn't sleep well last night. He won't get much sleep again tonight. It's quite a story. I've been going 20 odd years and not being able to beat Manchester United, and he's done it straight away.
It's all positive, and it should be when you have a win like that. Because as I said earlier on, Johnny, is that we'll not have many. We've had Spurs, which I ended up bubbling. Tonight, I'm not so much emotional. I'm more relieved about the win.
Crying.
Yeah, but it'll be Man United fans crying the night all the way from London. But it was a fantastic small moments that you've just got to take as a Newcastle fan, because we're not going to win trophies. We're not going to battle for Europe. Small victories, like if we had Sunderland in the league, unfortunately, you got beat 2-0 off Lincoln, that is. But little things like beating Sunderland or beating the big sides, you have to just enjoy it. And now we've got a national break. We can just milk it all the way through these 2 weeks.
We'll talk about how Newcastle might get on after the international break. We have got an email in from Liam Counsley. Remember, you can get your emails in to us. Contact nftvstudio@gmail.com. Liam Counsley, I said, more of a statement. It's okay beating teams like Tottenham and Manchester United, but when you still need to beat teams like Southampton, Norwich, Watford, Brighton and Aston Villa, they're the big results. He has got a point, Liam, but we just desperately needed a win, Robin. It doesn't matter who you beat.
Oh yeah.
But it is quite a story today.
You can only beat the teams that are put in front of you, and it is a difficult one when some players turn up for the big occasions, like what happened today. And you have to beat the teams that are going to be around you, like your Southamptons, like your Norwiches, like your Aston Villas. Yes, we need to be beating them, and we haven't been. But well, firstly, let's enjoy today, and I think that's something that a 2-week break now. We've got 2 weeks until the next game. That's something that we need to learn about, something that the players need to touch upon, and hopefully we can be really productive in this 2-week break.
I like this statement from Luke Nicholson on their YouTube. Man United can't afford the Longstaff brothers. I think that's quite good.
How much are there?
How much are they, exactly? Lee, did Newcastle get away with it just before half-time? Fabian Shaw heading just over his crossbar, and from the resulting corner, Ashley Young's corner, and Harry Maguire, 80 million pounds, misses a header 6 yards out. Did Newcastle get away with one there?
First of all, I thought it was an own goal. Do you know when you poop in your pants and you think, oh no? But when that came in Maguire, you'll hear it if you're watching on YouTube on Paul's vlog later. I say something along the line, oh he scored, or say no he's free, or something like that. Because I actually thought he scored, and from see go the other side of the post, I was actually quite shocked by it. It was the miss of the game by a shadow of a doubt. Yes, he was running a pace. Yes, he's the defender. He's not a striker, what have you. Yes, he costs 8 million, but you've got to be scoring. That's your bread and butter for centre back. You're 6 yards out. You've got a free header, got a big square head, and he heads it wide. And maybe if he had a round head, he might have put that in.
Paul Wilson says on Facebook, Newcastle have just beaten Man U, and after the match, all the analysis about Gary Neville and Manchester United winds me up. Paul, all the reaction is going to be on Newcastle United here on Nova Radio Northeast 102.5 FM. Get your emails in. Contact nftvstudio@gmail.com. Luke Nicholson says that must be the first team for the rest of the season. Kieran Clark, is he the centre half that Newcastle will be having from now to the end of the season, Rob?
Well, I'm a big fan of Florian Lejeune, and when he is fit, yes, for me it has to be Lejeune, because I think that back three of Lascelles, Shah and Lejeune, they work really well together. Clark, today it was his first game since the 12th of January, so I had big doubts about him today. I do like him as a player. He's a great squad player. When you need him, when you need to call upon him, yeah, he more often than not, he does a good job. But for me, I just think Clark, as a long-term solution for the rest of the season, can't see it happening, and I can't say I'm particularly thrilled about that.
You've got to say though, Rob, though, Bruce got his tactics spot on today.
Definitely.
We'll touch on about Steve Bruce a little bit later in the show, because obviously I want to kind of go in a little bit more depth with Steve Bruce, because he was under a heck of a lot of pressure, and there was a lot of comments earlier on in the week, especially with one of his interviews on Sky, so we'll touch on about that a little bit later. But second half, and it was more of the same. Man United had a lot of possession, really. Newcastle were kind of getting their counter-attacks, but 20 minutes to go, saint-maximin runs and keeps running, and you've got to give a lot of credit to him before Matty Longstaff puts the ball in the back of the net.
Fantastic. It's a great counter-attacking goal. I think it might be on, goal of the month, perhaps. Who knows? But, hey, we can be all happy tonight. I thought, the chances, they weren't clear-cut. Man United were trying to swing a lot of crosses in. Second half, I think Fabian Schär had a brilliant second half. A couple of those clearances, a couple of blocks were sensational. I've got a thing for Fabian Schär. You know that. What a defender!
It's 2019 league.
He's just a beautiful, elegant human being, and I know I've got a girlfriend and I'm happy, but you never know. You just never know, Fabian. But the chance saint-maximin, I thought he did tire out a little bit, but he was the threat, and we haven't had that Johnny for a long time. I know you can talk about Almiron, but I'll pick saint-maximin over Almiron any day of the week.
Did anybody think that Jetro Williams was offside?
I thought he was at first, but then just the replay confirmed my suspicions were.
See, we didn't have the replay. I didn't know what he was going to do, because we've seen it at Liverpool where he does that flap and then pings it against Liverpool. We done it twice, or it was something similar that he done it, because we on the corner, I could see perfectly. And I was like, what are you doing? Because he's a little bit unsure. Is he going to whip it in? Is he going to flip-flap and shoot? But, yeah, he pulls it back, and what a technique to finish that, man.
It is, and you've got to give credit to him, Rob, because a lot of people have been in similar situations and have skied it in the top end of the Gallagher where I sit, and I've almost managed to get my hands on the ball. But he's managed to have the composure, head over the ball, and put it in the bottom corner. Yeah,
composure is the key word there, I think. How many times have we seen players in similar position and slightly panic, or maybe get a bit too big for their boots, and just sort of put their foot through it with no real sense of direction or purpose to it. But yeah, good for him. You could say that he thought outside the box.
You had to get that in there.
No, literally.
You better get them as much as you can before going right.
That came into my head half a second before I said it. But yeah, he thought outside the box. And credit to him, he sought out the most productive scenario instead of just panicking and trying. It would have been easy for him to think, we need a goal here. I'm in the box. What do I do? But then he goes and sorts out.
At that stage, I didn't think anyone was. I think Newcastle probably 60. No, not in that 55, 45 shaded it. I didn't think there was much in it, because Man United were then starting. But I wasn't worried by Man United at all. Even during the week, they're not the team that scares you.
I don't think they have been for a long time. Joseph had said, what a great match, dream result. So exciting to see Matty score the winner on his debut alongside his brother. Proud 20-year Newcastle supporter from Detroit, USA. Away the lads, fantastic. Get your comments in as well if you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you're doing. Get your comments in. We're the only fan channel doing a radio show tonight for Newcastle versus Manchester United. So get your comments in today. I want to talk about Jetro Williams a little bit, because he had a shocker at the start of the season against Arsenal, and people haven't really seen the real Jetro Williams. We saw a little bit against Liverpool with a fantastic finish, but I thought he was excellent today. I thought he kept Dan James exceptionally quiet.
And James wasn't the only player who had a really quiet game. I think Rashford as well. Of course,
was he playing?
And Matter.
You saw Rashford's touch map in the first half. Absolutely nowhere near where a striker should be, really. So I think that's mainly one for the defence. But considering the amount of times Willems kept Rashford's the service to Rashford, he restricted that big time.
There's parts of me where I look at Jetro Williams and think he looks brilliant, but there's also sort of the parts where he looks a bit sluggish. He looks a bit lazy.
He has that error in him, doesn't he?
He's just a bit slow.
Good player, but has an error in him.
but he's got a bit of technical ability about him going forward. I would like to say from him, fantastic game, I would agree with you. Now, because Andy Carroll played a good chunk of 35 minutes, just whip them in.
Would you start Carroll over Joe Linton?
I said this earlier on the week I would. And I know Joe Linton didn't have a great game today. I thought, what's he called? Twanzebe. I thought he bossed him. And then he went right back, didn't he, Twanzebe?
I thought Twanzebe did excellent centre half.
I think he did. I think he did. It looks like one for the future him. But for me, I would start Andy Carroll. I think what he does, even if he doesn't win the ball, he attracts two people on him. You've seen it with a couple of throw-ins. Two people, there's a little guy and there's a big guy centre-back marking him. And that will then leave someone free, lurking around him. I'll start him next game.
I felt sorry for Joe Linton.
I did as well.
Because he's got no service around him. And Andy Carroll is obviously a lot taller. He wasn't afraid to get a bit more involved. I think that's probably the only thing I will say about Joe Linton. He seemed to be complaining about handball. He wasn't really fighting with other defenders where Carroll was. I don't know if that's because the defence were tired though, Lee.
The bit where Saint-Maximin was breaking in that second half on that left flank, and it didn't materialise nothing. Joe Linton has a go at him and says, well, why didn't you pull it back to me? Yeah. And he seems to be cutting that body language. I don't think that's anything wrong. I want your striker to be greedy. I want him to be twisting. I want it to be right. I want it here. I want it there. I want my striker to be like that. So if he starts being this moody fella on the pitch, I'm all for it, mate. You know what it is? Because strikers are selfish and he needs service. And it is difficult when you've got Harry Maguire, Twanzebe, literally on you. And you're trying to hold it up, and that's all he's doing is playing it off. I think that's difficult. He needs, instead of having his back turned to goal, he needs to be facing the goal. So we're seeing it with Hoffenheim. He can play out wide. He's got a bit of pace. So get crosses in. That's what I'm saying. Get more crosses in. It's great that we won today, but we need more goals.
Yeah, definitely. Alan Shearer's been on Twitter, and he says, "What an amazing day for the Longstaff family. Well done and congratulations." So it was obviously Manchester United fans giving Alan Shearer a little bit of stick because obviously Alan Shearer turned down Manchester United in 1996, and he went to Newcastle and became the top leading goal scorer. If you're watching this on YouTube or you're listening to us, you can get involved. Where are Manchester United going to finish this season? Give me a number, and also underneath, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going to be the manager till Christmas? Either yes or no, and where Manchester United are going to finish this season under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the minute has to be said. Since Newcastle scored, Rob, there was pressure, but did Dubravka have to make a world-class save, or any save really that you go, oh, good save?
I think Dubravka, massive strength for him is that he's really commanding in the aerial battles for your set pieces, and so that was true. I think Man United had several corners and free kicks in that first half. Dubravka absolutely bossed it, I think. So it wasn't a typical Dubravka performance where he pulls off 2 or 3 super saves in a game, but he did what he had to do, did everything that was thrown at him. Really,
he did. But did you think this sums up where Manchester United are at the minute a little bit? The players that they brought on were Chong,
they also
Rojo, and Greenwood. I'll say
Well,
Greenwood's a good player.
I think all the Greenwoods are not very good, personally.
Chong and Greenwood.
Right, I'm good. I want to know. But look, that's
all they've got.
That's where Manchester United are at the minute, and it's just
It was a massive.
It's great to see, isn't it?
They going into today, they pretty much had what felt like a never-ending injury list.
I know, but it's Manchester
so
United. They should be dealing with that injury list, whereas we can't. And that's the gulf and difference. Is when Man United lose Rashford, they should already have a ready replacement striker. But the fact is, their ready replacement striker is busy bossing it in Serie A.
Question for today is: we were really fortunate to pretty much to be injury free bar Richie.
And
so do you think that today was a battle of who was most injury free?
No, I think who wanted it most.
I think
had a bearing on the result.
No. I think. Do you know what it was? It was always going to be a scrappy affair today. I think the only thing that I thought Newcastle might get something from this game is that Manchester United played on Thursday night.
3 games in a week.
Away from home, they played 3 games in 6 days, and Newcastle have had 1 full week to recover from that hammering against Leicester. And they needed to put on a result. They needed to win. Let's be brutally honest. They needed to win today because look where Newcastle are on the table. They're currently sitting 16th. They're above, just below Aston Villa, rather. Everton are in the bottom 3 now because of Newcastle's win. Newcastle desperately needed that.
Yeah, because of the
a couple of defeats, we haven't really beaten anyone around with, and I think you have to. That needs to change because we can't keep relying on beating top six. I know Spurs are in crisis at the minute, and so are Man United. Don't get me wrong, but they come the end of the season, you expect them to be top six, top seven. But you definitely need it. It's coming at a great time. It's international break. Lads will go away. The people who are staying home will have a few days off, and they'll be happy. They'll come back to a happy dressing room and happy training ground, and it'll also. I know we'll talk on Bruce shortly, but it'll just ease the pressure off him because I think he's had a tough week. I think he's felt the strain and he's been ridiculed, criticised for going back to Rafa Benitez tactics, which I know we'll come on to in a moment, but you've just got to enjoy it. And yes, it's a must win. It's a great win. And we can now look at the Chelsea game after the international break thing. Okay, it's not a must win game. We can maybe, great if you nick a point, but then there's the Wolves one which you have to look at and think, yeah, that's one you would circle.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about Steve Bruce because in the week, obviously losing 5-0, he doesn't lose 5-0 many times is what he said. And to be fair, you can only look at the stats of that and he hasn't lost 5-0 many times. But I think the thing was that he was very, very honest in his interview about where Newcastle are and what he needed to do to really get the fans on side. And this only helps him today. And you've got to give him credit. He could have easily kept Joe Linton on today, Rob, and gone, well, we'll bring Carroll in 15 minutes to go. We'll wait until Man United do something. He went for it first, and you've got to give him credit.
Yeah, well, first of all, would you like a stat on Steve Bruce today?
Come on, then.
Today was his first time beating Manchester United as a manager on his 22nd attempt.
He said that in his previews, didn't he?
Yeah, I've said it's 22nd time with charm. I've always said that. But, no, but do you agree, Lee, that he's going to have criticism because he's not Rafa Benitez, but have Newcastle fans got to kind of look past that now because Rafa's not coming back.
Yeah, Rafa's not coming back. We know that whoever was after Rafa Benitez wouldn't be loved as much as Rafa Benitez unless you pluck an Alan Shearer out, but whatever, someone who's like a legendary status right here. Look, the fact that he's a Geordie means nothing to me. It might to some people, but for me personally, I'll have an alien in charge, and if that alien wins the trophy, I'm happy. So it doesn't matter where you come from. I'm not having this, he's a Geordie and all that. And I think that's more the media play on that rather than what the fans do, because he's been living away from the area for how many years? 30 years plus. Ever since he went to Gillingham, then he went to Norwich and Man United, and then became a manager. Look, I think it'll be a massive relief for him. I think because he looks already, before this win, someone who was under huge, huge stress and strain. And I think Newcastle fans don't want him at the club, majority of them, but wins like this will help. Don't get me wrong. But what happens next? Can you sit here and confidently saying that we're going to get a result against Chelsea or Wolves? You just can't say that, as you being a Newcastle fan. So it's good for him. Do you give him time? I think you've got to some extent. I know Owen's already said that you wanted him sacked last week.
I bet he doesn't want him sacked this week.
Keep an eye on Owen's video coming up tonight. I bet that's happy.
Sorry.
No, go on, Rob.
Oh, it's a bit of $1 million question, isn't it? Because, I've noticed Robbie Sandwich sort of shares this opinion, but if that was Rafa Benitez that masterminded that win,
we'll be all going mad.
Yeah, we would be going crazy.
So saying
Rafa Masterclass. I mean, yeah, Tottenham is another example, but I haven't heard anyone say, well, except for us, I know it's early days still, but I can't envisage many people saying Bruce Masterclass.
No, but to be fair, the more results that you get like this and we stay away from the bottom three, then people will give Steve Bruce more credit. William Dixon has said, buzzing, Will, hope you're having a great time in Salford, which is where Manchester United are based, not in Manchester. So
true fact. That's a fact.
So I'm sure that Will be absolutely delighted that Newcastle have beaten, I don't know, his hometown team at the minute, Manchester United, but it's all great. Dale Richardson, why don't you want him at the club? Sorry, I don't agree with that at all. If I'm indicating Bruce, I think we've been giving him Dale, and I don't think we can do much about it.
You've got to give him some extent and say, right, you have, because normally after 10 games, 15 games, that's where you'll finish in around three to four places up or down. Mm-hmm. So I think we will be bottom 10. How much? I think you've got to give them time until at least past the January transfer window.
Yeah, you've got.
I didn't want Steve Bruce here. I know everybody knows this. Hughes as well. Johnny, not so much.
Sorry, Johnny. But what I'm trying to get at is I think there's no point, even if we didn't win today, let's say we got a draw, right? It was boring 0-0. I think there's no point in sacking Steve Bruce just yet, because what's that going to do already in the season? Who's going to come in? You worry about Mike Ashley or Lee Charnley. Who's the next man after him? That's from, you're careful what you wish for in some extent with Bruce, because you just don't know if they sack him, who's coming next. Can they pull another Rafa Benitez off? No, they cannot go and get another world-class manager.
No, they can't. But it's tough, isn't it? It's tough to judge it, because obviously Newcastle got such a massive fight today as well.
Oh, he has the boys! He has the boys! Yeah, they are. Give the camera a wave, everybody. We've got Kyle.
We've got Kyle and Paul have just come back from the ground. They've been sitting waiting for Jamal themselves to give them the shirt after the match.
And a taxi.
But yes, Kyle, let's get your initial reaction. You're sitting down, aren't you? What a result, and I know Newcastle, John B. Kyle out. He's only been sitting down 2 minutes. No, Kyle, what a result, but I bet you're over the moon with that.
Damn right, I'm over the moon. Kyle is in and staying in till the end of the show. But yeah, what a win. We needed it more than ever before. Like, we went into that. I wasn't expecting anything. I really wasn't. I thought Man U would turn up and do over the day, but defensively, we were actually really good. Solid. Man United offered nothing but a cross and a header from Maguire, but other than that, they didn't offer anything. And I was really happy with the way we played for the whole 90 minutes. Solid. Great. By the way, though, I know Matty Longstaff, NE29. I know, I'm sorry.
See, I told you that would come up again.
Mention Matty Longstaff today, right? Because local lad, he's done his city proud. Can't ask for any more than that. Me and Johnny are the Shields boys in this on this channel, and
I still have an NE postcode, I must just say.
I only have a DL postcode, so I don't know anything. If Carlsberg did brother partnerships in the Premier League, give it the Longstaffs.
Who needs the Nevils, eh?
Who needs the Nevils? Who needs the Ambiobis? Who needs anybody else?
The Longstaff no taste, because they do follow this, brand.
They follow this brand, leading the way. They're leading the way, and so are we.
Paul, what a result, but how much credit do we give Steve Bruce today?
It was a brave call. Yeah, it was a really, really brave call. To come in and to make 5 changes, I think was it took a big cojones, shall we say?
It definitely did take big cojones. But
there we go.
Troy Deeney's joined with, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but Paul, it's a great result. It's a great performance. We'll touch about the Longstaffs a bit more for people that have just joined the stream on YouTube, or you missed the first bit of the show. Let's talk about Sean Longstaff, because we're giving Matty a lot of praise for the goal.
Let's talk about both of them. They're great.
Let's talk about both of them, we will. But Sean Longstaff, for me, it was a bit of a battle between him and Matt Tominey today, because everyone was saying, like Man United fans saying, why are we getting Sean Longstaff in, because he's just like Scott McTominay. It's better than today, wasn't he, Paul?
It was fantastic. It really, really good. They do complement each other. And we've been screaming out, saying that we need a midfield partnership, somebody to step up, somebody to put the foot in, somebody to get the ball and just pass it simply and get us moving and on the front foot. And they did that. Like I said, it was a telepathic hook-up at sometimes. And it was just an absolute joy to behold for once, to see a Newcastle midfield just battling, because the likes of John Joe Shelby and the likes haven't done it this season. So to see that today, our backs were against the wall at times. I think second half we dropped a bit too deep. First half, I think we were pretty much totally in control, barring that one header. But the two Longstaff brothers today just take a bow.
I'm Ronaldo 1985 says Sean equals Stevie G, and he says Matty equals Skulls. But it's amazing what one game can do, isn't it? Kyle, Sean Longstaff got the credit last season when he broke through.
He did.
Has Matty just done the same thing with scoring that goal? It was a fantastic finish, isn't it?
It was. They both lived the dream and scored at St James's Park, but I think Matty's outdone his brother there on this occasion. I mean, you can score on the Leazer's end and go 2-0 against Burnley, but there's nothing like beating Man United at home at the Gallagher end like he has. What a goal, by the way. We'll talk about the goal enough, because I'm here now and I want to talk about the goal. Picks up the ball on the edge of the box, just drives home, and the comparisons with Steven Gerrard, I mean, what a fantastic goal. I went mental when that goal went in, and I saw the whole Gallagher corner. The whole atmosphere was just through the roof when the goal went in. And
honestly, fantastic, just all round.
Yeah, your hooliganism came out. Paul, you experienced that there, didn't you?
Oh dear.
You should have seen it.
It's
I felt like I've been
I
against Brock
said
Lesnar or something.
For people that are watching, I just said, I'm going to stand here, protect the camera. Him gone wild. I
See,
thought
that's priorities. Lee's not thinking about the camera. I'm thinking about who I can grab and yeah, that's the end of that. But it's not hooliganism.
I think it would have been great viewing. It would have been painful viewing, but great viewing, Paul, if Kyle's going celebrating all mad, but Willems was offside, because I didn't really celebrate that much because I still thought Jecha Willems was offside, but...
VAR.
I think you need to get the Specsavers.
No, it was...
I was the same. I was the same when I do go
I've
respect.
Yeah.
I've actually seen the goal again when I was walking back
Yeah.
towards the radio show, and it was very, very close. It was
Yeah.
very, very close. But Paul, a massive win. But I want to ask you about your opinion on the defence today, because Kyle mentioned it's on the top of the show. Well, when he came in, not the top of the show, but still.
I mean, I'm late, so
Yeah.
it's
that's always going to happen, isn't it? But in all seriousness, Paul, Fabian Shaw, Jamal Lascelles, DeAndre Yedlin, I thought was brilliant as well.
To a man, the defence was
Everybody was
absolutely
brilliant.
fantastic. Everybody did the job, and you saw them before the game started, because Kyle spotted it out. They were doing the drills and everything, but they were really working on keeping tight, keeping shape. But Yedlin, yeah, fantastic. The energy and drive after all that football he's missed to come back and to produce that.
dealt with
was-
James quite easily, didn't he?
Yeah, we've changed to spare. They were never ever a threat. I mean, they had that header, but we smacked the crossbar. We had umpteen other chances. Really, we could have scored more on a different day, and they were limited. But the defence to a man was absolutely fantastic, and that's the way it should be. We were last season fantastically well drilled in defence, and we said that we were going back to Rafa-esque ways. We certainly did. We've got a manager who played at the highest level, at the back, so we should be good defensively. And after that horror show last week, it was just what the doctor ordered.
Lee, Bob Paydock makes a fantastic point. Credit to Bruce. 8 games and 8 points, and we've played Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs, Manchester United, and Leicester.
Don't talk about Leicester, please.
We're not going to talk about Leicester, but it's a good point, Lee, because we've played 5 difficult teams. Yes, we've got beat off Norwich and we were poor against Brighton. But 8
It
points in 8
is.
games is still good.
It's a valid point, but as I said earlier on in the show, before these two came in, you've got to beat the teams around you first. It's great winning Spurs, it's great winning Man U, but you cannot let other teams like your Norwich's, your Watfords and your Brighton gain points on you. That's your bread and butter. That's where that will keep you up in the league. How many times can you pluck out a win like this? That's 2. Are we going to get 3 at some point this season? Hey, they're coming 3s, but any more than that, you're dreaming. But overall, I think it's fantastic, a great win. Like I said earlier on, milk it, enjoy it. It's not often we get days like this. We'll go into the international break sitting above the relegation zone because, let's be honest, lads, we wouldn't have expected that, would we?
Definitely not. Rob, I'll just get your reaction a little bit into... It's difficult to say, but Alain Saint-Maximin, he makes those runs, but do you think that he needs a bit of a goal as well, just a bit like Almiron, just to kind of get the monkey off the back a little bit?
Kind of. Well, he makes the right sort of runs, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean.
That's
but
terrible.
yes.
Apologies.
But yeah, he's really creative. He's one of those players where he's going to get more assists than goals. So I think for him, I can see him assists would give him his energy, not necessarily goals, which is what Almiron, I would imagine, would thrive upon.
No, but
I don't think you can
He
worry
should have
about
scored- He should have
Saint-Maximin.
scored today because we've noticed Almiron. He's suffered quite a bit this season, a bit mentally, and he should have scored today. He should have scored in the last home game against Brighton. 2 really big opportunities. Today, seeing him take that second touch was so painful for me. It was like fingernails on a chalkboard. It was awful, knowing that he should have just put his foot through it. But yeah,
It was like answering the door and finding Mike Ashley there, really.
But yeah,
It was bad.
Surprise!
It does feel like
Hey, trick or treat's coming.
Oh, yeah. Ideas.
But Almiron, no goals, no assists so far, and it just he's not the spark that he provided us since January last season. He's not that. Whereas Saint-Maximin, when he has played, he's stepped up to the plate big time for me.
And yes, keep up the good work, Ollie, with a lot of laughing emojis. James Zadrenka getting Newcastle from a Liverpool fan. We'll touch about Liverpool in the last 5 minutes of the show, the fact that they've got 8 points clear as well today. Kyle, you've got a lot of friends that are Manchester United fans.
I do, actually.
We've touched a little bit on Manchester United.
They've kicked us out of every messenger group.
I wonder why.
But Kyle, do you think that Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer have got a part company, because for them, they're in a relegation battle, aren't they?
They're in a relegation battle. It's strange when you talk about Man United in that kind of situation, but it's higher up. I mean, we spoke to Natalie from Full Time Red Devils, and she says it would be great if Man United could have Sam Allardyce and Mike Ashley gift wrapped. It's that depressing at Man United at the minute.
She said she would have Mike Ashley.
Yeah, she'd take Mike Ashley over the Grace. I'm not joking. It will be on the channel. I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, oh my god! Like, are you smoking a level of something I can't comprehend? Because to want Mike Ashley, it must be bad. Like, they're not used to losing games like we are.
But they were still singing about the Glazers. They weren't singing about Ollie out. It was Glazers. All the anger is felt towards the Glazer family.
It's a bad situation for them to be begging for Mike Ashley. I mean, they can have him. Please take him. But
me and Paul will drag him there.
It's not that bad.
Funny enough that you bring up the idea of the owners. A mate of mine, Man United fan, last night told me it's the battle of the bad owners, in the sense that there's one who's got so much money but hides it, and the other has so much money that they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I'm just going to give you a few stats for today's game, and anybody can come in on this. Manchester United had 70% possession to Newcastle's 30%, but both had 12 shots. 2 on target for Newcastle, 1 being from Mighty Lonsdale. 3 for Manchester United. 4 corners for Newcastle, 6 corners for Manchester United. So it was, in terms of shots and creating chances, it was pretty even. Yes, Manchester United more of the ball, but you'd expect that. Lee, any surprising elements for the stats there? I think 12 shots each probably surprises more people.
I was saying to Paul, wasn't I? Guys, these are for the taking. These are for the taking. I know what did Man U do with that? I can only remember Dubravka having a couple of cross shots that were saved and gathering crosses. There was no, and you take away Newcastle's chances. Matty's obviously hit the top of the bar in the first half, and then his goal. The game itself overall.
His goal. All right. Okay, continue.
But overall, the game didn't have many clear-cut chances. It was probably for a neutral, a poor game to watch. But
a battle of attrition, wasn't it? At times,
you said battle of bad owner. I think it's a battle of 2 bad managers as well. But Bruce got the better hand, and we were asking fans, and you'll see that on the channel. A couple of fans outside the ground today. Who would you rather have, Solskjaer or Bruce? If you swap them around each club, who would do better? Surprisingly, a couple said Bruce.
I think it is. Bruce, for me, will never be liked universally by Newcastle fans. But
he looks like your nan.
No, but he deserves credit today. Like, I know from a lot of people.
Credit for going back to the tactics that he inherited, that he should have probably stuck with from the start. To me, it's like the machine wasn't broken. Why did you try and reinvent it? Apart from for your own ego.
I'll ask the whole room this. Do you see that as a positive thing, that he's realised Rafa's Benitez's tactics similar worked? I'm going to adopt that, or is that a negative?
No, it's way. So look at the score today.
If it gets results, I don't care if it's for me, it's a results business. So whatever method you use, get results.
It has to be.
And they'll share you eventually.
Definitely. Are we all in agreement that Matty Longstaff man of the match?
Yes.
Yeah,
Matty Longstaff straight away, and then Sean Longstaff just behind him. And
then we'll pick another Geordie. May as well put Andy Carroll there. Hey, get pulled. I'm not on the pitch. Let's rate him.
Do you not think that the fact that obviously the midfield was brilliant in terms of the centre midfield, but I want to touch about Fabian Schär. Lee's mentioned him slightly before about how
once or twice.
But
Fabian Schär,
yes, he likes to be. It's Schär, not Shaw, apparently. But I think he almost shares man of the match today with Longstaff.
God, you'd be sitting next to Rob too much, you.
But
it's contagious.
But you not think though, because of especially I think Newcastle.
He made a couple of really good
second half,
goal-saving tackle challenges. He made a brilliant challenge from, I think it was Mason Greenwood, if I'm right in saying. And then there was a brilliant header where Rashford would have scored if he didn't get to it. So I'd agree with that.
We were too deep the second half. Too deep. But that was too much for my nerves.
Fabian Schär has said he loves to play at the football club this week. He says he hasn't got any regrets moving to the Premier League, and he loves playing for Newcastle. I love him playing for Newcastle as well. As Lee touches upon him,
I've done my man.
Very,
this.
very
You missed
elegant
it.
man.
You missed it. I was declaring
Did
let's
you
move
get him
on.
a ring?
I think it
Horrible.
helps
Spit it out.
I think it helps that the passion that he has for playing football certainly matches the passion that Newcastle fans have.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think personally
Sorry.
we've got a better defence. We have got a better defence, and the result today was built on a defensive resilience. We've got a better defence. When Lejeune comes back in, I think we'll be better again still, because I'm still maintaining he's our best defender. But Man United, they just weren't a Man United team. You don't look at them and think, oh yeah, Man United.
You've got to give, for me, Jamal Lascelles some credit as well.
Yeah.
Because I liked it at the end. He was like, come on, at the end.
Yeah.
The fans
So was
giving it
that, to be
back.
fair, you're not giving me credit.
I just played 90 minutes of football.
But earlier on last
I
week,
watched Newcastle there, it's enough.
last week he was criticised by a couple of idiots. I'm going to say that, a couple of idiots outside the ground saying you should pay for my taxi after that performance. You're on 40 grand. Well, he's not actually, he's on 70 grand, but that's not the point. The point is that he's had a bit of a tough week, probably mentally as well, and that'll be a good thing for him as well.
Can I just ask about the last moment of the game when Manchester United got a free kick, and I think
They dragged that out a bit.
No, I was going to say I couldn't see it from where I was sitting, but did Scott McTominay appeal for some sort of red card for something, or was it Scott McTominay?
Yeah, they dragged it out a little bit. He went down and...
Rob, you on the TV. What happened there? We just seen a player going down.
So when was this?
Right at the end, literally right at the end when Manchester got that free kick.
When it went into added time, I needed to come here to settle. So sorry, but I followed it on BBC.
Can you get your comments in if you can let us know what actually happened at the last seconds of the game in terms of Scott McTominay? We've got just over 12 minutes left of tonight's show, but that ball comes in, it gets cleared, and what we thought was going to be another corner ended up blowing the full-time whistle. But
which was the only decent thing the referee did for most of the match, because he certainly had.
He give a goal. He give with a goal. Johnny says it was tight.
It was tight, but it's tight or not tight. It's if it's tight, it's still a goal. It wasn't off. He didn't give us much, did he? Come on, let's be honest. He was constantly. He loves himself, that man. He was standing in front of a mirror and admire himself all the time. He was really frustrating me. It didn't help the flow of the game whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely. We've got just over 10 minutes left. We'll touch about Newcastle in the last couple of minutes of the show, just a general feeling of what we think about the international break. I'm just going to touch about the fact that Manchester City have lost 2-0 at home today against Wolverhampton Wanderers. 2 goals in the last 10 minutes from Adama Traore. Manchester City were well below par this afternoon, and Liverpool at 8 points clear because of it, because of their last-minute winner from James Milner, the former Newcastle player, who took the penalty very well. But is this their year, Liverpool?
It's got to be. It's got to be now. And I mean, I know another team very famously blew quite a healthy lead.
I don't know who
Wearing
that
this.
was.
Yeah, but if Liverpool don't now bring home the bacon after what has been an absolutely flawless start, I mean, they're head and shoulders above everybody and everything else. And I just think after you've won it for a few times, that hunger is bound to wane a little bit. Liverpool, with what happened last season, and then everything else around it, they're on an upward curve, and I think they seem destined for the league title,
They're definitely the best team on the planet,
which will make any Manchester United fans listening in tonight even more.
17 consecutive Premier League wins for Liverpool.
Yeah, one off Man City.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Lee, is it the perfect weekend for Liverpool fans seeing Manchester City and Manchester United? And
We always do Liverpool. We always do Liverpool a favour.
and also seeing Everton in the bottom three as well. I think that's the cherry on top of the
Be
cake.
great night.
But in terms
Calm down.
of Liverpool,
I don't use discuss that so much.
no? Do you think it was a penalty?
Which one?
On the-
Oh,
Liverpool?
yeah, it was soft one. No, I agree with on the match of the day, what Shio said. I think he touches him, and then he realises, oh, wait a minute, I've been touched. There's a bit of a delay. And I goes, I'm going to go down and flung himself. So, delayed reaction. It was initially contact soft, but then the theatrics afterwards, I didn't like that in the game, but Liverpool are just... I'd like to see Liverpool go on and win it because they are the best team at the minute, and Manchester City only there really because money, simple as that, oil money. But Liverpool, this is the one that Liverpool want. They've won the Champions League numerous times, European Cups.
They've built up, haven't they, for so long.
Yeah,
Liverpool.
Chris Pajak keeps going on and on about all of his Red Men videos. Shout out to you, Chris. It's a league. It's got to be the league. It said that last season.
it needs to be the league, and I think they'll do it quite easily.
Yeah, and then Kyle, obviously we mentioned Liverpool, but from a Manchester City perspective, dropping points at home, it's very rare that happens any part of the season. But do you feel that maybe, I don't know, one eye was they were almost deflated before they even kicked the ball because Liverpool won in the last minute?
Well, half of the Man City fan base will probably call Pep Guardiola a fraud now because they've lost the game. So it is very rare, but Man City will bounce back strong. I mean, look what they did to Watford the other week. They're more than capable. I mean, Liverpool will still, despite their 8-point lead, will still need to score well over 85 points this season to win the title.
I think if Man City win the Champions League, that's what they care about this season.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair point.
Yeah, Paul, I'll let you continue, but we'll talk about Tottenham. 3-0 defeat against Brighton. Before we go into talk anything, our best wishes to Hugo Lloris. It looks like it's very, very
dislocated.
Yeah, dislocated elbow. He'd be out for a while.
The defeat cost an arm. Literally not so much a leg.
No, definitely not. But Neil Maupay rather getting the first goal and 2 goals from Aaron Conley, who nearly scored against Newcastle if it wasn't for Fabian Schär. But Brighton getting 3 points. Everyone kind of thought they were going to be in a bit of a relegation battle. Are they going to be the surprise package, Paul?
They could be. I think it was not so much we expected them, but we were sort of hoping, with what happened with Chris Hughton and stuff, and obviously the affection that we hold them in up here. We were all sort of hoping maybe that Brighton would struggle. But they're going about the business steadily, improving, and Tottenham on the other hand, oh my word, an abundance of riches they've got there, and to be humbled, and that makes our point at home against Brighton actually not look a particularly bad point.
Not as disastrous.
Yeah, not as disastrous as it was, at the time.
Yeah, definitely. And the last game I just want to mention, I think not a surprise result, but Burnley beating Everton again. Sean Dyche just does it again.
I called that actually, Alan. We're a group which, if you don't follow, links can be in the description across all the videos this week, and I called Burnley to beat Everton actually.
Yeah, definitely. Do you feel that Marco Silva's under pressure?
Yeah, definitely. He's walking on eggshells. The amount of money that they've spent, and seeing their other team across the other end of Stanley Park literally win. Be quite difficult to be an Evertonian. Everton fans don't like us. I don't care.
Please not bother.
No, let's have a look at some of the comments. Bradley says #in Bruce we trust. Conrad, come on, Gil, get over injury concerns. Joe Linton overrated, and Gavin Peters. Any 29 boys had Man U in their pocket.
Yes, they did. Top man.
Yeah, I would just say, Joe Linton. I don't know if you already touched on it, but you got to remember we're very quick to judge these foreign players coming in. He's a young lad who's finding his way. Yes, he's not putting in as much as I think he probably should do, but we need to give him time. I do think there is a good player in there. The same as Almiron, I think there's a good player there. Let's just not totally bury them straight away, and we've got another situation where they're moving on and they're doing fantastic things.
Flowing Tovan.
Yeah, straight to the line.
So it is an international break now. Newcastle have got 2 weeks to enjoy this victory. But the next 4 fixtures is Chelsea away, Wolves at home, West Ham United away, and then Bournemouth at home on the 9th of November, Remembrance Weekend. Again, I spoke to my dad before I came on the radio show, and I said 4 points from the last 4 games for the last international break. It's probably par. Is it a little bit more now because of the fact that they've got West Ham, Bournemouth, and Wolves? Chelsea's going to be tough for obvious reasons. They're starting to play. Well.
It depends what Newcastle turns up, though, doesn't it? At the end of the day, I would play a similar formation to what we've done, today. The first half, we were so much more on the front foot. We looked more bright, more energetic. We were able to break. We were able to get, some crosses in, some shots away. Totally different to how, we've looked previously. But yeah, the real Newcastle United needs to stand up more often, than not.
You've got almost your full strength almost back now. Yedlin's back in there. Matty's kind of good shout to start next game. The only real person, Richie and Lejeune. Richie will probably slot in for Williams, and Lejeune will probably come in for Clark/Dummett.
I think Lejeune walks into this team regardless of today's result, in my personal opinion. But
he is the best defender at the club.
It's not like...
I'm intent.
Second best.
Quality.
Fabian Schär.
Oh, no, we're not having that.
Get your comments in.
Who's the better defender?
Yeah.
When fit.
#Schär or #Lejeune. Get your comments in the last 5 minutes or so before we finish. Kyle, you look at the 4 games. I think you've got to look at the home games again. Wolves will play a Europa League game before they play us on the Sunday. They've got to travel up to Newcastle, so that's something that they don't want to do. I know they just beat Manchester City, but not great, nothing that they want to do. And then you look at Bournemouth. We've got a good record. Last time we played Bournemouth, we beat them 2-1. The 2 winnable games, aren't they?
They are, but I wouldn't take the Europa League game against Wolves for anything, because they played Besiktas on the Thursday night and beat them, and then went to the Etihad and beat Man City. So you can't really take the Europa League into account. I think they've got a good enough squad to go across the season, and I think Wolves will be fine despite that edgy start. As for Bournemouth, they're a good side, but we do have a decent record against them. The last time they beat us, Statman incoming, was the last game under Steve McLaren, if I'm right. So they're both winnable games, but they're both very tough games as well, Johnny.
They are definitely, and I'm just going to put a couple of stats I've just seen. Manchester United striker Marcus Rashford touched the ball 21 times in 90 minutes. Jamal Lascelles only had 22 touches and only had to make 1 tackle in today's game, which is absolutely fantastic.
Pitch a tent, lad. Easy afternoon.
Rob, what's the best chance of Newcastle getting points out of the next 4?
Very good. There's definitely points to be had here. Definitely.
Chelsea away.
Even against top 6 teams like Chelsea.
They're giving you chances, aren't they, defensively?
I'll take nothing away from them. They have had a really good start to the season, but now that Hazard is no longer there, it's almost as if they've lost a lot of bite that they once had. So, and then teams like Bournemouth, West Ham, I think definitely teams that you can. I wouldn't say easily, but if you
have a go at.
Yeah, have a go at. If you just work that little bit harder than the other team, then it's all should be good. We should be targeting a good. I'd say at least 4 points for Bournemouth and West Ham.
So you're going for how many points in the next 4 games? Rob, I'll let you start off. I'll give everybody the same question.
5.
Kyle?
4 to 6.
So 5. Paul?
7.
And Lee?
Ooh.
Point a game, 4.
4.
I'll keep you up.
I'm going to go 5 as well. I think we'll get a big win somewhere out of those 4, but I think we're capable of getting a couple of points, maybe on the road.
I'm thinking Spurs away, Mark 2 against Chelsea. That's what I'm going for.
Well, what's going to happen to Lee Drinks, Paul?
There we go.
Definitely. Newcastle Fans TV will be at the Chelsea game in a couple of weeks.
We're at every game, Johnny.
Yeah,
every game.
Every game, we definitely are. Well, we're in the last minute and a half of this radio show. We'll end it with
Matty Longstaff.
You've
got to.
He's one of our own. I'll sing on my own. Just me then.
Yeah, I'm not singing Wheelie.
Kyle, I'll let you finish this off because obviously he's only 29, lad. What a performance, what a day that he will never forget.
Well, you talk about Fred, a £60 million signing from Shakhtar Donetsk 18 months ago. And Matty Longstaff ran rings around him in
He
his
was
Premier
yucky
League
dog's
debut.
poo, I thought.
What?
He was yucky dog's poo.
Well, whatever Lee said. But
Maybe a bit too young for that.
Matty Longstaff, on his debut, handled himself brilliantly. Even without the goal, he had a fantastic performance. Listened to Sean all game. You could see Sean marshalling him a bit, and I think they're perfect together in midfield. But to sum up, fantastic goal, fantastic debut. You've done NE29 and Newcastle United proud today.
I think that's fantastic. That's a great way to end.
Yeah.
Definitely my thanks to Lee Law and my thanks to Paul Rutter, to Kyle Thompson.
Temporarily
for Paul Rutter and Kyle Thompson. My thanks to Rob Spurriel, who's done obviously great for the first hour or so by himself, but still a great job. Newcastle 1, Manchester United 0. I'll repeat that, Newcastle 1, Manchester United 0. Thank you very much for listening and for watching. We'll be back with the Black and White show next week as we preview the Chelsea game. We might even discuss England as well. Thank you very much. We'll see you all again very, very soon. Newcastle 1, Manchester United 0.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us.